Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Leilani. You can also call me Lay. Today I want to start a reading vlog on The Shadow and Bone. So it's still in the case, and I've had this for about a year now. I said I was going to read it last year and I didn't. But the second season of the TV show comes out in about 2 weeks on March 16th. So my goal is to read these 3 books before then. And I want to see if I like it as much as I like season 1. Probably not. There's a lot of people who don't like this book and they prefer Six of Crows and not Shadow and Bone, but I want to see where I land. I'm gonna open it right now and we're gonna start the vlog. So wait, I don't want to ruin anything. So this also has the Netflix logo on it, so there you go. It's all shiny and glossy. So I'll start reading. If there's anything I want to update you on, I will. Maybe I'll update you every 100 or so pages, because this book has, how many pages? Oh, there's a discussion in the back. Ooh, there's little end pages, like a little journal entry in the back. I don't know if it goes with the book per se. Oh, it's bonus materials. So there's 358 pages in the first book. I'll update you as soon as possible. If not, maybe like every 100 or so pages. But I'm excited to read the note. And then there's questions with the author in the back. And then Shadow and Bone discussion questions. So I'll give you an update when I have one. Okay, so I am currently four chapters into Shadow and Bone, so 55 pages, and I'm enjoying it. I'm listening to the audiobook while I'm reading, and I love the narration. Also, I'm happy I watched the TV show before, because then now I could just picture the cast. I could just see the settings, and I could see how everyone's clothes are described, and I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying my stay so far. I also decided to reread the back of the book, so the description, and there was no mention of Mal. And Mal is like a main character of the book because he's Elena's best friend. But also, like, in the show, there's like a love triangle going on between Elena, the Darkling, and Mal. But he has no mention in the description, so you wouldn't know there's like a love triangle going on. And I'm just laughing. Also, I didn't tell you what Shadow and Bone is about because I'm just assuming people know what it's about. If not, let me tell you a little story about what's happening. Alina, she was orphaned as a kid, and it's like years later now. She is working with, I guess, the army, you could say. She is a map maker. Her best friend Mal, who she grew up with, is a tracker. She has the hugest crush on Mal, and he's a ladies' man, and he sees her as a best friend, right? So it's their first time going across this thing called the Fold, which is a darkness that is dividing the land. And when you enter into the Fold, you know, you die, you get murdered. Okay, there are these demons that are flying around and killing people. So they have trackers and map makers and Grishas, who are like people with powers, to kill the demons so that they could basically find an easier way to go across their countries, right? But while they're on the boat or whatever to go across the Fold, they get attacked. Mal gets hurt. Elena is in shambles. The girl is crying. She is a mess. So to protect her, she throws her body like on him and then finds out, oh wow, she has some powers, but you know, it's powers that nobody has seen before. So the Grisha people are looking at her weird, you know, the people with powers, and then the regular humans are just looking at her like, oh my god, because basically she's like a fairy tale person, because they've only heard about her powers in fairy tales and nobody has seen it. But there's this man called the Darkling who is very mysterious, who has these dark powers and is all powerful, and people are afraid of him, but he sounds hot, you know? So he basically is taking her to where he lives, and she's gonna train amongst the Grishas, the people with the powers, and she's gonna help him destroy the Fold, so everything will be all good. But is everything going to be all good? Dun 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 dun. Basically, that's what the book is about. I hope I gave you a great summary, because I know I didn't. It's also late. I'm also debating if I want to read another 50 pages, because I said I was going to read 100 pages, or I should go back to sleep because it's around 11ish and I have to be up at 6 to get ready and then go to work. So if you don't hear back from me tonight, that means I fell asleep. As you can see, it's been a while since I updated you on Shadow and Bone, and I've been enjoying it. I'm currently on chapter 17, so I have about like, I think 5 more chapters left. So I'm planning to finish this tonight. And so far I like it. Compared to the TV show, I think I would prefer the TV show, only because you get everyone's perspective. Because in the book you only get Elena's perspective, and you're basically in her head and she's questioning everything, which is fine. Because I do like the writing style of Miss Leigh Bardugo. So this is my first book by her. And I think everything's well fleshed out. I just think that since I watched the TV show first and knowing like everyone's characters through the TV show, it makes me see what was lacking in the first book. But I think where I left off was Elena is now going to the little palace with the Darkling, basically to build her strength in learning her sun summoning powers, but also like physical strength. So she also goes to like training for fighting. She has a personal tailor named Genya. Love her, she's great. And then she also is training with somebody named Baghra, I think, Baghra. And she's having trouble like understanding herself, right? She's upset at herself because she didn't know she had these powers. She also doesn't know how to use these powers. She doesn't consider herself a Grisha, so she doesn't know where she's standing like at the moment, because she wants to be normal, but then now everyone has like these big old hopes and goals for her, so she has a lot of pressure on her shoulders. During this time we get a lot of background history about the Black Heretic, the person who created the Fold. We get more knowledge about Grisha, about Keftas, like the clothes they wear and like what the color signifies of like what rank or your job position within Grisha, or royalties. We also get to learn more about the tea of royalties, like they're also trash. But where I'm at the section is we find out Baghra is the Darkling's mother. So this is all a secret, right? So she's his mother. She tells Elena that he's a Black Heretic. He's the creator of the Fold, and the Volcras, the little demon thingies that are flying inside of the Fold, are like men that turned into demons by accident. And the Darkling is using her because he needs her powers to kill all of the Volcras, and then once they're all dead, he could enter the Fold and expand it, basically goal to take over the world. So Elena is now on the run. She is now found by Mal. But Mal was also at the palace like the day Elena found out about the heretics, and there's a big old disconnectment between them because they haven't seen each other for like months. And she's been writing to him, and since she hasn't got any letters back, she's feeling some type of way because she's in love with her best friend, and now there's like no connection between them. And when she sees him again at the palace, he's like very upset and like doesn't really want to talk to her or like acknowledge her, and she's like, I thought we were friends, but I get it, whatever. But now Mal just saved her from soldiers, so I'm excited, and I just want to know how it's gonna end. Also, I put the book down for a week because I was in a reading slump, and the second season comes out in 2 days. So my goal is to finish this and the next 2 books in the series by the 16th and have this video up on the 16th. Is it gonna happen? Probably not, but that is my goal now. If you hear noises, it's like people running upstairs, so sorry. But I'm gonna finish the last few chapters, tell you what I think about it, and then start Siege and Storm. So give me an update when I have one. So I finished Shadow and Bone. I decided I'm gonna give it a 3.5 star. I do think I like the TV show better, only because it has more action and you get everyone's perspective, so it's more in depth. You get to connect with each character. Because in here you're only in Elena's perspective, and you only see or hear her thoughts and see her point of view, and most of the time she's very miserable and sad and wanting her best friend and loving her best friend, but also questioning if she loves the Darkling. And most of the action happens at the end, so I think the end is what actually makes this a better book. But the world building, the descriptions, the writing is A+, because in the middle, even though it's semi-boring, it's so you could understand the atmosphere in the land of Ravka. So I liked it. I want to also note that yes, even though I said I would fold to the Darkling, I would stand up, okay? Because I understand he's manipulative. I understand he's a trash bag, okay? But there's some things that people do, and I'm like, you know, temptations. But in here at the end, I was like, you kind of need to get slapped. Like, I need her to slap him. Because he's basically like, I gave you this power, and he's victim blaming him, or he's playing the victim, and he's crying wolf, despite like he's the person who created the fold. And yeah, he's just really trash. The Darkling is trash because there's a section where he tells Elena to beg him to save his friend Mal, and she does, and he's like, I'll show you mercy, I'll let you go see him, but tomorrow morning I'm gonna kill him in front of you while we enter the fold. And he's disrespectful. That's just messed up. And then he wanted to like be like, save me, have mercy on me, when she decides to do the same thing to him. Karma's bitch. That's what I'm saying. Be nice. But yeah, also Mal got semi better in the book, because at the beginning he was very distant, very rude, very mean. Ladies' man, you didn't even know if he liked Elena or not, but at the end you could see how much they care for each other. There was like a little cute scene between them, and then they almost got robbed and died. But other than that, I kind of like Mel better. By the end of the book, his character in the TV show is better. I would say that. But now I'm gonna start Siege and Storm. It's longer. The audiobook's 11 hours. I'm still currently at work. My break's about to end soon, and I have a lot of meetings. So my goal is to read this during downtime or when I'm answering emails. I also think this book is breaking. At least like the end pages are breaking, but the goal is to finish this today, because today is the 15th. I want to read and post all of this by tomorrow, the 16th, because the TV show comes out. Will I do it? I don't know. We'll see what I do. But I'm gonna start this because I got the audiobook as well, and then I'll give you an update when I have one. The lighting is kind of horrible here, but I am currently on chapter 4, page 60. I'm liking this better than the first book. Darkling has become more disrespectful, more brutal, more vengeance, and he's very bitter. But basically he finds Mal and Elena, and he kidnaps them again, and now they're on a show. So this is very much of a pirate adventure book. Not pirate adventure book, but there's pirates, there's new people who I think are going to be on Elena and Mal's side. They're looking for the next amplifier, which would be this, which is the Ice Dragon, and I'm excited. What I'm not liking is the Darkling using both Mal and Elena against each other. So he's threatening Mal, like to hurt Mal, to get Elena to cooperate, and then to get Mal to track that Ice Dragon, he's threatening to skin Elena. So there's that, but there's a lot of action, and I'm enjoying it. I have to start going to my meeting soon, so I'm gonna stop here. Maybe on my break I'll read more, but so far so good. Okay, so I'm back home. It is like 8 something, almost 9 o'clock. You can see right here I had a pimple and I put a pimple patch on. It is a pink cloud, so sorry if that's distracting. But I am currently 144 pages into Siege and Storm on chapter 9. I'm actually still enjoying the book. Some things I do know that I'm not liking or is making me question life. One, Mal is being annoying. He has these weird things where he's like in your face and annoying, but then there's like some sections where I'm like, oh, that's actually cute, or where I like him. When he's annoying, it's very, he like gets upset so fast for no reason and like yells at Elena, and I'm like, why are you yelling? Just have a conversation. Also, their relationship doesn't seem like they're dating. I still feel like they're in like their best friend era, but he just kisses her. For some reason, to me, it feels forced. And I'm like, no. But, update, they captured the Ice Dragon. The captain of the ship, named Stormhold, something like that, he betrayed the Darkling. He kidnapped Mal and Elena to take him back to the client that he's getting paid for. Turns out he is the son of the king real name is Nikolai. I actually like his character. His character's funny and sarcastic, and that's the type of people I really like. Some things I don't like is he's just getting everybody in a whole lot of shit. Like, he does not seem to care for anybody's regard at the moment, and he's a very into risk-taking. Elena, update on her. She used the Ice Dragon scales to amplify her powers, so now she has the stag's like antlers on her neck and then the scales on her wrist. Something that made me question life was they entered the fold, so now the fold kind of recognizes Elena because it feels different to her. And there's more Volcras. Nikolai, his crew, and then now Mal decide that, oh, we should just hunt the Volcras. But since we're in Elena's perspective, she's the only one knows that there were humans before, or people before, and they just murdered a lot of them. And when she's listening to them dying, they're like screeching, but it sounds like screams. And they found a nest, and they were killing more of them. And during the fight, Elena was having a hallucination for some reason of the Darkling, and basically he's calling her a murderer. And that's where we're at. Well, now we're back in Ravka, and she's gonna be taken to the king. But that's where we're at. It's getting interesting. I'm curious to see what else is gonna happen. I want Mal to like calm down, but I feel like for some reason he's very, I don't want to say vengeance hungry, but every time there's like mentions of like weapons or destruction near him, he gets giddy or excited and wants to talk about it. And that's weird. So that's where I'm at. I'll give you an update when I can. I don't think I'm gonna finish this book tonight, which sucks, but I'll try to get as much reading as I possibly can. So yes, so I'll give you an update when I have one.
Elena! Some of you will be assigned to the supply run across the falls. Ready for launch! I wanted to get rich quick like every other nub who steps foot in the barrel. I want you to say his name. Come on! I don't remember his name! I just want my son. He's all I have.
Okay, so I read a few more chapters. It's currently March 18th, so obviously I didn't post this on March 16th. The TV show is now out, but I was busy at work and I literally came home and fell asleep right after on Thursday and Friday. Well, Thursday I fell asleep. Friday I actually watched 4 of the episodes with my best friend. But in the book, nothing's really happened other than Nikolai semi-proposed to Elena, because if they get married, it would be like a good alliance for Grisha and non-Grisha. Mal's not okay with it, but Elena wants to be captain of like the 2nd army, and he was like, if you become like captain, he also wants to be like the leader of her army group. But in my head, I'm like, aren't you guys super young? And where's your experience? Especially how Elena is talking. It's very not teenager, but like, girl, you don't know nothing about commanding an army. What are you talking about? But in the TV show, I think I like the TV show more, again, because of backstory. Because in here, we only get like snippets of the Darkling, and in the TV show, you actually get to see like the background of like why Grisha that have followed him are now afraid of him. I'm not trying to spoil the TV show, but there's a lot of differences between the book and the TV show. One is, I kind of like Mal in the TV show better than book Mal, but I like Nikolai from the book better than Nikolai from the TV show. Elena is just okay in both. If I'm going to be completely honest, I think the 6 of Crows portion of the TV show is what's carrying the TV show right now. Because yeah, what I do like, semi-liked, I feel like it should have been more action or like longer, is when we meet or capture the ice dragon. You actually get to see a dragon, and the CGI is great. I love the dragon. I just wish it was a longer scene because it just happened like super fast. But other than that, my goal is to finish this today, because I want to finish it, so I could like compare the TV show and the book. But also, I'm gonna watch Scream 6 tonight, so my goal is to finish this by 7. Will I do it? I don't know. Hopefully. But I will give you an update when I have one. Okay, so I have finished Siege and Storm. I decided to give this a 3-star. I don't know where I left off, so I don't know what I need to recap you on, but a lot of stuff didn't really happen until the end, because most of this book is about like setting up or prepping for war, but then also like a little bit of like history of things happening in like Ravka or in the palace. But few major points would be, didn't really care for Mal in this one. He was very rude and disrespectful. There was even a scene where he gets upset with Alina, and it seems like he's always yelling at someone in a scene and then like switching up his like attitude, and then kisses Alina, and it doesn't feel like they're an actual couple. It feels like they're friends and then they make out or they kiss like once or twice. But there's one point where they break up, and he ends up making out with Zoya. But let's see, other than that, we have Nikolai, who proposed to Alina for the benefit of an alliance to help out Ravka. Mal gets jealous. Vasily, who is Nikolai's older brother, also basically proposes to Alina, but his was more disgusting and he's creepy. She basically says no, but he wants it because he's very stuck up and is like, well, I'm gonna be king, like I'm the first son, and da 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 da. But anyways, he's trash. He goes on a mission per king's orders and creates an alliance with, I think it's Fjerda, which is like another, I don't know if it's a country, but it's another group of people who are against the Darkling. And he basically gives up half of the land and some money for them to basically join armies and fight against the Darkling. This causes a problem because the king and queen decide to throw Nikolai like a birthday party or just a party in general, and Vasily mentions it during the party, and Nikolai gets upset because he's like, you don't know them like that, like they could be siding with the Darkling, which they did, which causes the Darkling to send over his shadow monsters to the palace, and Vasily, the older brother, ends up being dead. And then everyone's like on the run. The Darkling finds Alina and a group of her friends, and basically she tries to trick him into saying she's gonna go with him, but does something with her powers that would semi-strip away the Darkling's powers. And then the cathedral that they're at all crashes down. But realistically, the Darkling's not dead yet, and now she's with the creepy priest from book 1 because the twins know him. So yeah, I did start Ronin Rising. I'm currently on chapter 3, and basically it's like 2 months has passed. She is like drained of her magic, like she can't feel her magic anymore, but there's like a spark of it, but then she's also could create shadows a little bit, so she has a part of the Darkling's magic. The priest is so like up her ass, and he's so clingy, it's disgusting, but he's also trying to convince Alina that her friends are bad for her and they're using her and they're manipulative, and he's trying to isolate her from everybody, so she could solely rely on him. And that's not happening, which is good. They basically, I believe they now just broke out of like the underground cathedral they were at. What I noticed from the differences, I finished the TV show, is that in the books, the characters focus on like, oh, she's a saint, and it's either you love her or you hate her, and it's very like intense and in your face. And in the TV show, it's like kind of there, like only a few people call her like Saint Alina. Also, the TV show was rushed. It felt very rushed, and apparently, according to my friend, the ending of this book is very different from the ending of the TV show. So I kind of put the book down for 2 days, but I need to finish it because I want to know what happens. Also, I'm excited for Six of Crows because every time Six of Crows showed up on the TV show, on Shadow and Bone, it was my favorite scenes. So I'll probably read Six of Crows either next month or the month after. I have to get Crooked Kingdom. But other than that, I'm going to finish this, tell you what I think. And yeah. Okay, so we're currently at the office right now and I'm on break. I finished Ruin and Rising and I'm going to give it a 3.5 stars. I ended up being in a reading slump because of the TV show. So I finished season 2 before I finished the series, and I think that was the wrong move for me. But I enjoyed this book much more than the second one. I think Leigh Bardugo does a great job at opening books and closing them out, because the after for this book actually was pretty wholesome and I almost cried. During the middle of the book, I feel like there's a lot happening, but also nothing's happening as well. I think during the middle of the book is when I decided which characters I actually like and which characters I don't. So my favorite character is Nikolai. I didn't think Alina and Mal were very coupley. Like, I wouldn't think of them as a couple until the last section, because they were always like arguing or like hiding stuff from each other or not like being honest with each other, and it felt like they were just friends who kissed a lot. So at the end though is when I liked it. Like, I was like, okay, I see you guys as a couple. Some things that I feel like the show did a disservice to for Shadow and Bone is, number one is the Darkling, because you don't get to know his name in the book series until this book, the final book, and it gives his name more meaning. So his name is Alexander. I believe that's what it is. It's only said 3 times in here, but you know it immediately in the TV show, and I feel like they did a disservice to that. And then second is Alina. So in this book, there's a lot of people who are desperate to be in her presence because they look at her as a saint, and you see that with people just calling her saint all the time, or like getting on their knees for her, or doing whatever she wants. But in the TV show, you don't really see that happening. And then also the priest is still in here. He's in season 1 for like a few episodes, but he's like in here and creepy, and I don't like him at all. He's very manipulative. But yeah, all in all, I think this was a good series. I think like the average rating altogether is a 3-star. I feel like if I read this in high school, I would have ate this up and it would have been like 4 or 5 stars. But since I've read a lot of fantasy books, this is like the average one. But I do think like people should start off with this if you haven't read YA fantasy. But I'm excited to read the next series from her, which is Six of Crows. And I'm also excited to read King of Scars because Nikolai, again, is my favorite character. He's very like charming, and I just like his sarcasticness. Also, just a little random thing on the books, you can see it says soldier, what does it say? Soldier, Summoner, Saint. And what I like, this is great marketing or whatever, each book it has this word, right? Soldier, Summoner, Saint, and these it gets highlighted for each word based on who Alina currently is or who she thinks she is. So in the first book, she's a soldier and she's just a map maker, and then she finds out she has like these powers. In the second book, she's a summoner and she learns about her powers and the history of like Grisha and all that. And this one, it's Saint, and it's like her goal to defeat the Darkling and save Ravka. But all in all, good series. I will, read the next ones. So I will see you in the next video. If you want, like and subscribe or not, but please do. Talk to you later. Bye.